Hello everybody, this is Tay, and this is another exciting episode of Shooping with Tay. Shoop! I think I'm live. It says I'm live. I'm in my car. I have some lighting. I have some mood lighting. I don't see anybody hopping on yet though, so I don't know if I have a good reception or not. But I'm going to go for it anyways. I am not sure if I'm allowed to do what I'm about to do. I do not own the rights to any of this, but one of the things that I do in my car is I do my best to turn it into like a university. And, you know, I want to make the most of the time in my car, right? And especially now that we're back to school, I'm driving a bit more. And I have this CD in my car that it's Dr. Wayne Dyer, and it's The Power of Intention. And this track in this CD, I've just been playing over and over and over and over and over again in my car. For probably over a year. Because I remember I would listen to this last year when I was driving to school last like February and March. And I had really serious anxiety like last year before the pandemic happened. And it was even hard for me to want to go on campus, like where I was teaching, where I'm teaching now. There was some traumatic stuff that happened at the beginning of the year, and it hit me really hard. And this particular section of what Dr. Wayne Dyer is talking about it talks about the ego and how the ego, it kind of steals our joy, you know, and it keeps us from finding that harmony and that joy and that love and that peace, because the ego is, it's just so full of it. What's up, cousin? Hey, Ad. So the ego is just it's this beast that we fight a lot of the time. It's like in our head and you know, really just messes with us a lot. Makes us feel like everything's about us, good, bad, and otherwise. The good, the bad, and the ugly of life, right? When a lot of the time nothing is about us. None of this shit has anything to do with us. Whether it's what people say or do or don't say or whatever. And I've just found myself really affected by people and things, like external situations, and like more than I used to be. And I think this past year has been really difficult. I know it's been difficult. I don't think it has. I know it has. I know it's been difficult for everybody. It's definitely been difficult for me teaching wise, because I was missing my students, and just teaching from home was really crazy. Last year was really difficult at our school. We lacked leadership at the school, and it just felt like everybody was running amok, and it felt like certain traumatic things were happening on campus and they weren't getting dealt with, you know? And I dealt with some crazy, crazy stuff like the first week of school that just put a damper on the whole year. And I think it's because I let my ego get affected, right? It was like, I felt like I let what the kids were saying and doing to me affect me in my ego. And I've been really reflecting on that. I've been reflecting on a lot of things lately, and I have like become this person who has just let my ego run rampant. And it sucks. Yeah. Whew. So, I'm going to stop talking for a second, and I'm going to put on Dr. Wayne Dyer, because what he had to say and what he has to say is so good for me and for everybody. Ooh, so here we go. Hopefully this is okay. I don't know if it's allowed, but anyways.
Anxiety or peace.
Here we go.
When you're in harmony with the 7 faces of intention, you can access and pull from the source of all in order to fulfill your intention of being stress-free and tranquil. So if it's natural to have feelings of well-being, why is it that we seem to experience so much unwellness and tension?
Yeah.
The answer to this question provides you with the key that leads to the peaceful life you desire. Stress is a desire of the ego. We speak of stress as if it were present in the world as something that attacks us. We say things like, I'm having an anxiety attack, as if anxiety is a combatant. But the stress in your body is rarely the result of external forces or entities attacking you. It's the result of the weakened connecting link to intention caused by your belief that ego is who you are.
Yeah.
You are peace and joy, but you've allowed your ego to dominate your life. The following lighthearted way to stop taking yourself so seriously is from a book by Rosamund and Benjamin Zander. He's the conductor of the Boston Philharmonic Orchestra, titled The Art of Possibility.
This is amazing.
It illustrates in a delightful way how we allow ego to create many of the problems we encounter that we label stress and anxiety. It's called Rule Number 6.
Yeah, rule number 6. Here we go.
I'll share it with you. 2 prime ministers are sitting in a room discussing affairs of state. Suddenly a man bursts in, apoplectic with fury, shouting and stamping and banging his fist on the desk. The resident prime minister admonishes him. "Peter," he says, "kindly remember rule number 6. Whereupon Peter is instantly restored to complete calm, apologizes, and withdraws. The politicians return to their conversation only to be interrupted yet again 20 minutes later by
Kindly
an
remember,
hysterical woman
rule number
gesticulating
6.
wildly, her hair flying. Again, the intruder is greeted with the words, "Marie, please remember rule number 6. Complete calm descends once more, and she too withdraws with a bow and an apology. When the scene is repeated for a third time, the visiting prime minister addresses his colleague. "My dear friend," he says, "I've seen many things in my life, but never anything as remarkable as this. Would you be willing to share with me the secret of rule number 6? "Very simply," replies the resident prime minister. "Rule number 6 is, don't take yourself so damn seriously." "Ah," says the
Yes.
visitor, "that's a fine rule." After a moment of pondering, he inquires, "And what, may I ask, are the other rules?" "Oh,
There aren't any."
As you encounter stress, pressure, or anxiety in your life, remember rule number 6. At the moment you realize you're thinking stressful thoughts. By noticing and discontinuing the inner dialogue that causes stress, you may be able to prevent its physical symptoms. What are the inner thoughts that produce stress?
Yeah.
I'm more important than those around me. My expectations aren't being met. I shouldn't have to wait. I'm too important. I'm the customer here, and I demand attention. No one else has these pressures. All of these above, along with a potentially endless inventory of rule number 6 thoughts, are from the ego's bag of tricks.
All right. I'm going to push pause there. Or I'm just going to turn it off because I don't really know how to pause the CD player in my car. There's no pause button. I don't know what to do, so I just turned it off. Yeah. So, I love you, dude. I love you, Ad. You're awesome. I love all y'all up there. Yeah. So, I am... Yeah, I think I don't feel awesome. I think that's probably... I think that's probably one of my biggest issues right now is that I'm letting my ego make me feel like I am not awesome. So, yeah, I definitely did not expect to make a Shooping with Tay and to be crying. It's pretty annoying, actually. But, yeah. It is what it is, I guess. I know this past year has been really hard for everybody. It's like we're in bizarro world. And I think I'm realizing that I just have a lot of triggers. I just feel like I'm getting triggered by a lot of things. Because I think there's just been a lot of trauma this past year and the world is so crazy, but I think I don't feel like I'm doing a good job at being me. I don't feel like I'm myself sometimes. So, but even saying that out loud, I know it's bullshit. Because I know I am me. And I really do wake up every day doing my best. You know? So, I think it's my ego making me, my ego telling me a bunch of shenanigans. And it's really not fair. It's not fair to myself. It's not fair to people I love. It's not fair to the people in my life. For me to get triggered and like react in ways that like aren't healthy and joyful and even like real or like rational. I've always been really hard on myself. Like ever since I was a kid, I've always held myself up to like really high standards, especially as far as relationships, as far as like interacting with people. And I think a lot of times in my life I've been I just love a lot. Like I just have a lot of love for people. I have a lot of love for, there are people who are very, very important to me who I just want them to feel loved by me. And it took me a long time to really love myself. That's something I really, like, fully love myself, like, unconditionally, where I could really cast my ego aside and know that it was just this shenanigansy bullshit thing that's, like, in my head but not real. And that the ego isn't who I am, you know, like what Dr. Wayne Dyer was talking about. But man, it's a beast. It's a powerful thing, you know, that ego. And I know number one, being a teacher is one of the most challenging things that I've ever experienced in my life. Like to get up and go to work and, you know, go out there and teach other people's kids. And I do it with so much love. And like, I love my job. I really do love my job. And I haven't really been able to do my job, you know, like in a year. Not really. I mean, I've been teaching PE from my bedroom, you know, and connecting with the kids as best as I can. And you know, my wife, Christina, will tell you, no, you are making an impact. You're doing good. Like Christina was telling me that the whole time I was teaching at home. And some days I just had to believe her because like I didn't feel like I was. And now we're back in school. So it's really good actually. And this will be our 4th week of school. So we're starting, you know, tomorrow's gonna be the 4th week. And I have kids in school. And then I have kids who are still at home, like who aren't going to school. So I create these lessons like I've been doing all year. And they have to go on there and they do the lessons by themselves because I got to teach the other kids at the school. So there's a disconnect. But then every Friday, I do a live PE from 9:30 to 10:30 in the morning. And so I get to see the kids who are at home if they log on, you know. And so at least I get to connect with them that way. And so I do feel good about that. But it just doesn't seem right. It doesn't seem like, you know, what I'm really trying to do. But I can't focus on all that. I just gotta focus on like being me, being the Coach Edwards that you know, they deserve, and just who I am, just being myself. And so I just have to focus on the good every day, right? And not let my ego mess with me. And so that's, you know, teaching is a big challenge. And honestly, like, being a wife and being a stepmom is a big challenge. And being a stepmom has been the biggest challenge of my life. Teaching is a second big challenge. But like being a stepmom is the biggest challenge of my entire life. And I think this teaching craziness from the past year or so, you know, being down at the school that I'm at, has really messed with me and messed with my ego and my confidence. And being a stepmom has really challenged me and messed with my confidence and my ego, for sure. For sure. Anyone who knows me knows that I connect with people like that. Like I just do. And my heart, like I just love people. My mission in life is to encourage, promote, and respect relationships while serving myself and others. And that's literally what I do every day. That's what I've done since I was a kid. And I don't like it when I'm not good at something. And that's my ego. Yeah. And being a stepmom, I don't feel good at it. Yeah. I don't feel like I'm good at it. But I am good at it. And I know that I am actually good at it, but I don't feel good at it. And I think it's the same type of feelings that I have as a teacher, because I want to see changes, you know, I want to see an impact. And, you know, as a teacher, sometimes you don't see those impacts. Sometimes you never see the impacts that you make in kids or on them, or like you don't get to, you know, because sometimes you don't ever see those kids again. And I feel like that right now. Like, I am doing my best to make positive impacts on these people that I love, and I'm not seeing it. And it's hard when you can't. I mean, any parent who's watching this, anybody who has children, you know what I'm feeling. You know it even more than I do, I'm sure, especially after this year. What a year, man, especially for teenagers. And, you know, I've been a daughter, I've been a sister, I've been a cousin, I've been an auntie, TT, I've been a granddaughter, you know, I've been a friend, I've been a colleague, and now for 6 months now, you know, I've been a wife. And it's beautiful. Like, I love being Christina's wife. I love being her wife. But and I don't mean but. I think what I'm trying to say is, like, I'm seeing these patterns in my life where my ego is messing with me. And it's really stealing joy from me. And it's impeding me. And I don't I don't want conflict in my life. And I want to bridge gaps. I want to always be connected. As a wife, as a teacher, as a stepmom, or bonus mom, as I like to say, because stepmom, I don't like that word, stepmom. It makes me think of like Cinderella, and it makes me think of like other movies that we've seen where the step parents are like horrible, because I don't think I'm horrible. I mean, I've had a horrible step parent, y'all. I've experienced that life where you have somebody who's trying to drive a wedge in between you and your parent. That shit ain't right, and I will never be that person. But yeah, I can't, you know, I gotta let my ego go. Yep. I want peace and love and harmony. And I want to, you know, I want to relinquish control. That's another thing Dr. Wayne Dyer talks about, is like when you are separate from the power of intention, you know, when you're like, oh, wait, this is my anxiety, it's attacking me, blah, 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 blah. That's not, it's, I said in the beginning, it's like I'm allowing external things to affect me. And yes, I guess that's true on some certain level, but it's actually stuff that's in here that is affecting me. It's my own stuff. And I almost feel like, is that a victim mentality? Because I'm not a victim. I don't want to be a victim. And I don't have control over everything, and I don't want control over everything. And I think that's one of the things about the ego, is it wants to control everything. And he talks about having expectations, you know, that like if they're not met, then what happens when there's unmet expectations? Then that's where frustration comes in. Yeah, and I feel like I've been really frustrated for a long time. in different areas of my life. And I think it's because I want to control those areas of my life. And I have expectations that they're not, they ain't gonna be met. Like, and it's not cool. And it's not anybody else's responsibility to meet my expectations that I've made up in my own head, you know. It's not fair to put that on anybody. And I'm sorry that I've done that, because I have done that to a lot of people. And I'm one of those people for sure. Yeah. This is what I want to do, and I talked to my Granny Jean about this. I want to live and let live. That's me. Live and let live. And there's a lot of peace in that, you know. So here's to us all transcending our ego, which is definitely something to shoop about. Yeah. When Christina challenged me to doing 5 shoops in 5 days, who knew there'd be these crazy long shoops where I'm just like stream of consciousness, like Jack Kerouacking my way through it. Never knew it. I hope I made a positive impact with this shoop. I don't expect the next 3 shoops to be like this at all. Yesterday was kind of a long one. I had a shoop down memory lane in La Jolla, which was really cool. I miss La Jolla. I miss my job at the Cove. Like I loved those times. And then this one's gone a bit long, but I hope y'all got something out of it. I appreciate y'all being here. And wow, that was a very vulnerable shoop. So I love y'all. This is May. We're in May 2021, y'all. We made it. We made it. Get it? All right. I love y'all so much. Peace. Here's to us transcending our ego and letting that shit go. Right? Shoop.